Once overlooked as rough and run down, downtown Troy is in the midst of a rapid resurgence. Some call it the new Brooklyn, and it has the farmers market, architecture, and restaurants to prove it. But as businesses, offices, and residents alike flock to this little city on the Hudson, there's something that threatens to hold it back: parking.
So I think the fact that we're talking about parking as an issue in downtown Troy is good, and I think that it represents the fact that a lot of good things have happened downtown over the last 10 years. We have an opportunity right now to attract video game companies, software companies. We've talked to major employers who have kicked tires in downtown Troy and they want to be here. We don't want to incubate companies in downtown Troy only to have them leave because the infrastructure doesn't exist to support their employees.
We've lost tenants. We've lost retail and particularly office tenants because we just don't have the parking available. They come to Troy and they like what they see, and then we tell them, well, sorry, we can't give you the parking that you require, or we can't give you any parking. Well, what do? They leave. They've got a car. They got to park it somewhere. So we lose out on that opportunity.
So as we drive around downtown, the one thing that you'll notice is there's no signage. There's no cohesive brand package. There's no wayfinding. So if you're a visitor from out of town, it is really, really hard to navigate Troy. I mean, not only the one-way streets, but it's really hard to find out where to go. And parking, whether it's on the street or if it's in a surface lot or if it's in a garage, needs to be really easy to figure out. We have some surface lots that we're passing right now that clearly could be decked, could have new technology, could be multi-use, not just privately owned. They're simply being used single use. It's almost like a suburban type approach to parking and use, which is something I think we have to study and look at.
Well, State Street is a particularly important garage given its location right in the middle of downtown, and as you can see, it's in pretty rough shape. It's not lit very well, it's not managed, it's in disrepair, it's just ugly, and nobody expects a Taj Mahal down here, but there are a lot of improvements that could be made to this facility to make it more appealing, to make it safer, to prompt people to actually use it more.
So right now I'm driving you actually into the Monument Square site, which has blossomed as free parking in downtown Troy. I mean, this is the Wild West. I mean, what is this? Why are we parking down here? How is this even a thing? On-street parking is one of the things that really needs to be unified. So the rules on the street down here are 2-hour parking. I mean, this is our most highly utilized section of town right here, and we have 2-hour parking. It really should be metered, and the meter should be based on utilization. These are spots that should turn over more often.
The reason that we can't just go out today and build a brand new parking structure to accommodate all of the suggestions and feedback that we're hearing from the community is that we don't know what role mass transit is going to play in the next 20 years, and we don't know if parking of that nature is going to be necessary. I think millennials have a different thought about mass transit than the Generation X or baby boomers. So we're going to see a big shift in that in the next 10 to 15 years, and I think we have to be aware of that while we're putting together our parking management solutions.
I'm not talking about putting the burden on one person or one entity. I'm not just saying that the city of Troy has to pay for everything. I think that we have to talk to all of the people who are interested in downtown Troy and bring them all to the table. Because this has been discussed and planned for 20 years in some way, shape, or form. But I'm hoping that right now we can finally put an end to all the discussions and actually develop a strategy. What is our strategy for parking downtown? We don't have one.